So this is sort of a sneak peek into what the Contentful plus LILT connector looks like within Contentful itself. Like I was saying earlier, it's an app-based connector. So you'll actually see a LILT modal, which is the sidebar here to the right. And so that is a LILT custom application that's on Contentful itself. And so you can actually interact with that and choose to send content that way. We will dive deeper into this as we're actually doing the demo itself. Something that's actually new within LILT in the last 6 months as well is our new no-code connector setup. Contentful is amongst this as well, but basically you can actually set up a connector configuration directly from LILT itself. So traditionally, the way that we onboard connectors is that someone from our team will help set up a connector for you and help set up connector configurations. If you want to do that on your own or have a little bit more insight or oversight into what that connector configuration looks like, you can actually end up setting it up all on your own. It doesn't require any code. It just requires your tokens from your partner system. So in this case, from Contentful, and you can set that up quite quickly, which I'll show as well. And with this, this is what this workflow will look like. You'll select the connector itself that you want to build out. You'll select the workflow that you want to pursue here. And then you just have to fill in a few fields here, which I'll show in a second. It actually just brings me into the demo itself. There are two ways in which you can get started with the LILT Contentful connector. So one is directly through Contentful. So you can actually go into Contentful directly, and this is the Contentful marketplace, and you can see LILT Connect here. I could choose to install that. That will take me to the Contentful app that I have, and then basically walk through a couple steps to get that started. Vice versa, I could also go into LILT. This is the LILT platform itself. I can go to our Connect hub. And so this is where all my connectors would live. You see that I already have one for GitHub and AWS. And if I click new connector, I can actually start setting one up for Contentful. So these are all the different connectors on LILT. You'll see that I can select from any of these. I have Contentful here, so I can click select. This will take me to selecting the workflow. So let's say I want to do an AI plus review workflow. And so here, all I would do is fill in the management tokens, the space IDs, and environment IDs. I would import file context. So if there's a content type ID or link depth, force extract, these are quite Contentful specific. So I'm happy to dive deeper into this maybe during the Q&A, but just keeping it high level, this is essentially how you can configure your own setup for what exactly you want to pull into LILT from Contentful itself. And then you can send back to the connector integration, and then you can assign models if you want. So you can see that these first few steps here are Contentful oriented. These last few steps are LILT oriented. It'll walk through all the steps here and then send it back to Contentful at the end. So let's assume that I have this now set up. I will go into the Contentful platform itself. And here I have started this blog post just to save us some time. And so I have this demo test blog here. I filled in my short description and my content itself. And so now it looks pretty much ready to go. I think I want to send this for localization. And so I go to the little sidebar here, and you can see I have a few options. I could choose to publish. So that would be just publishing directly what I have already here. But I actually want this to be translated into Spanish, let's say. And so it's not quite ready yet. And so my next step here would be to send for localization. So I click send for localization. I just want to send this for Spanish. And you can see a couple things here. So first, what'll come up is nested references. So if you're familiar with Contentful, you know that you can have nested entries or child entries. And so this LILT system will automatically detect nested entries and child entries for you, and then just showcase that so you're aware nested entries are going to be included or not included. Depending on where exactly your child entries are set up, choosing whether or not those are going to be included as part of the translation can be set up within references and taxonomy here. So let's say that this is all looking good. I can then choose my translation type. So I can do verified or instant translation. I could choose a memory domain. I'm not gonna choose one here because I don't have one set up. And then I can just choose my languages. So I'm just gonna do Spanish, and then I'm gonna click submit. And so now you can see that the localization status is ready to start. And in a few seconds, once it goes into the LILT platform, it'll be in progress. And so let's actually show you what that looks like in LILT itself. So this is a little homepage again. If I go into browse jobs, this is where I can see all of the jobs that are in LILT right now for me as a customer. And so if I click browse jobs, I can see demo test and it's in translate and review and it's now in progress, which is great. You can see the same due date that I had earlier of June 29th. And if I click into this, you can see that it's going from English to Spanish. And this is what it actually looks like in the LILT platform itself. So this is a sort of a view into the cat editor, which is primarily used by linguists. And you can see that you have the suggestions here that are part of our cat system. And basically a linguist would go through this process, verify this and make sure that it's accurate. And then once they click complete, it will actually end up showing up back in LILT. And then I would be able to publish directly from here. And you would get a status update. You can see some of these are published already. And you can see it changed, or if there's any status updates, then it'll show here. And then that'll just be like ready for localization or ready for publishing. And so from there, you can do a preview and then publish directly from the Contentful system.